Hey guys, Chris here. So I figured I would make a short video. I didn't do any installation videos for this machine. This is the MR1. It's the CNC machine. It's advertised. You guys watch YouTube, obviously. We're on YouTube. This is advertised on YouTube quite a bit, and I saw it and I decided I'm going to give it a shot. And I looked at, so while I was waiting for it to come in, it took a little bit. It wasn't that long. It was like a couple weeks. And once you get it, you have a huge assembly to do. This has to have concrete poured and the epoxy done. And then, you know, I had done my research and watched other people. Oh, and by the way, somebody said something in a comment about me smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. These are Davidoff cigars. That's what you see me smoking. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. I don't do nothing. So anyways, this is the machine. I saw some other videos of guys doing other stuff, which I appreciate. Thank you guys for posting those videos because it gave me a lot of good ideas on how to do mine, which I'm gonna now show you. That's obviously the point of the video, is to give you guys some tips that maybe you guys didn't think of, or maybe you did, and that's why I did them, to give you the credit, and etc. So I did, so on the to seal it up, I sealed the whole thing. Oh, one thing that was a problem for people was light. This is the best way to fix that. A 2-foot by 4-foot LED that would replace a drop ceiling light. It's extremely bright, 6500K, and you can see everything going on inside here very clearly. The light problem is over. So that was that. Then I did, obviously you see I did a weather strip. So what I did is I made holes here and I put bolts, and then I ground them down so they wouldn't interfere with the door, to put this L bracket here. So this L bracket is bolted in, and then these screws are for, this is a door weather strip. So the weather strip, when I close this, forms a seal against that. And on the inside corner, I did the rubber silicone. That's another door sealer. And then I did the same thing on the bottom on the top. And over here, the same thing. And then between the two doors, this door didn't need anything because I closed the gap with the silicone on this side. Then I also did plexiglass on the inside as well as the outside. So I added, I cut and added the inside pieces. But between the plexiglass and the metal, don't use silicone. Use something good. Like this is what I used. This is APOC. This is Advanced Performance Tripolymer Roof and Construction Sealant. This is ultra clear, and you can get it at Home Depot in this brand, DAP. This is pretty high quality stuff for Home Depot. The DAP one, it actually works just about as good as the stuff you get at a supply house, like these kinds. Both of these you're gonna have to get in a supply house. This is Lexel. This is, you can even do this on wet surfaces and it still sticks, and it's tough enough for, you know, applying this on wet surfaces as it's actively raining. So use something like that. That's what I did all the way around every single piece of plexiglass. And before I bolted it in, I did a bead of it all the way around this side too, all the way around inside. I did it all the way around inside, all the way around the other side. Oh, well, you can't see it now, but you can kind of see through here that I did it all the way around every piece of plexiglass. I haven't had any leak, thankfully. I did it all the way around the drains. That kept the drains in place. It's not focusing. See, and then over here, every single drain, I did it around the sides. I also added my own drain. This is a 3-inch, that's a 3-inch, I think the hole is 4 inches, but that's a 3-inch drain in the bottom. And what I used is actually that right there. So that came from a fast fuel system. And I actually have some parts left over because somebody hit me pulling out of my parking lot, and they hit the side that the fast fuel pump was on, and they broke the filters right off the pump. So I had to order another one, and I didn't need anything but the pump. I didn't need any of the other parts, so I still have them all, or well, most of them now. I've been using some of the fittings, but this is the fitting So this works perfectly because you have your O-ring that's going to form a seal on the bottom, and then a nut to go on the bottom to tighten it up, and then you can put a hose right to that. And I used a 3/4 inch heater hose like this right here. So that's got plenty of diameter. It gets more flow than any of the other ones. And then I put double screening on that. I put metal screening inside, and then I put the thicker wire mesh, which there's not too many chunks that are big enough for that to stop anyway, but it holds down the smaller mesh. And then for cleaning up the chips, I did this. This is off of a split that goes off of the pump. So the pump's right there, it tees off or Y's off and goes to this, which I put a valve at the end of it so when I'm not using it. And then I put the tool holder here, and then the little ring holder for the clamps right there. And then I got this little guy. This is a pneumatic vacuum. So it goes down that hose and it goes into that little bag. And this part that I put on the end is flexible. So this is perfect for cleaning metal chips. That's all I do with it. So after it's dried in here, I go back in here and I suck all the metal chips out. And definitely, I highly recommend getting 2 vices, because if you want to do anything bigger than, you know, like, if you want to do anything the full size of this plate or bigger, then you need them both. So I definitely, you know, I had ordered one, and I called back and ordered the second one before it was even shipped, because I had looked at some videos and some guys had one and they had a hard time. Some guys had 2, they didn't. So it was a pretty simple choice. And then I ordered 2 sets of the clamp downs for them because I wanted at least 4 on each. I ended up doing 5 on each. And then I also, they actually didn't charge me for this because I asked them, you know, the doors didn't seem to stick well. They only came with 2 magnets. They didn't come with 4 magnets. They came with 2 magnets. So I guess you just do 2 on the top and that's it. Or 2 on the bottom or whatever. But there was holes for 2 more. So I ended up having them send me 4 more, because with all this stuff on the door, you know, the strip on the outside, the strips on the inside, the silicone sealant, you know, all the door strips, I mean, it makes it a little harder to close, but now with 6 magnets, it closes pretty well. So these are just some ideas for anybody who's considering buying these, because everybody else's ideas that they put up were tremendously helpful to me. That's how I got the idea to do the additional drain. I probably would not have put that in before I did the cement had it not been for those other videos. The lighting, I put that 2x4 up right where I was going to put this machine. Another idea that was an afterthought, because I did have a small leak in the beginning. I didn't get any more now. But I put this plexiglass over the computer. So that is right up against the leg. So it goes inside. Here's the outside of the perimeter, and it was coming through one of the bolts, which I have sealed since. That sealant worked like a charm. And then I put that L-bend on it, so that's screwed into it, and that holds it against that so that it doesn't move, you know, too much. And then it'll roll off over the edge of, you know, I have another little piece in there too, so it'll go over the edge of the computer either way and doesn't get the computer wet. And then I have all the other wiring off the ground on that Milwaukee box. And then I had, at home I used to work from home, so this was my home office computer, and this is a really good computer. It was like $2 grand. It's an HP Envy all-in-one, but I ended up getting a tower when I started using my office that's at my office, because I grew out of my home office. So that's me and my fiance. That's our engagement picture. All right, let's let it see my face. Okay, so there's Fusion and Cut Control on the screen already. So this has 2 graphics processors in it. So I actually had to set it to use the right one. So you see it's got Intel graphics. Let's see if I can zoom in. I don't think you can read that. So it's got the Intel graphics and then the NVIDIA. So the NVIDIA is the high power. So when I open it, I set it to do this automatically now, but I had to run with graphics processor, and then do high performance NVIDIA graphics. You know, because it was giving me error code, something, you know, excited, something, whatever it was, some error code that it wouldn't start the program. Once I tried to run them as administrator, then running them with the other graphics card actually worked. So I got them to work that way. And also the tool setter and the probe, I don't know, you know, when you look at them, if you don't know anything about CNC machines like I didn't, I had gotten good with the lathe. You know, I've been using this quite a bit. But CNC machine and even milling, you know, I have a milling table on my drill press, but not CNC, and I'm still learning it. I mean, I've only had this for a little while. So Fusion is a difficult program to learn. It's complex. That's being very generous calling it complex. It's actually really intricate. So especially, I started out with the free version, but if you get the paid version, then you start getting even more options, and it's hard to wrap your head around the whole three-dimensional aspect of it, because you have to create something and then create the surface for it. It's just it's a big learning curve. And I'm not a dumb guy. I mean, I not this computer, the one at my desk. I built that computer. I built my assistant's computer. I know how the hardware works, the software, but this is just different than anything I've ever had to use. So I was eager to learn it, and I'm still eager to learn more of it and to do more of it. But it's a big learning curve. It's not like I'm gonna just jump in here and start. You know, you're not going to just jump in here and start using a CNC machine like a pro in a week or a month. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of screwed up, you know, pieces of work. It's going to take a lot of material wasted. It's just one of those things that you have to bite the bullet. I mean, if you can afford to do so, then you know you can. If you can't, then you know, I mean, shit, I'll let you use mine. You know, I'm really that kind of guy. Anyways, I just wanted to, hopefully I could give somebody an idea. What else did I do in here? So the plumbing, I have all the lines in the cement are just like they should be, you know, the way that they come, with the hard lines that go down to the drains, and then they go into the bin on the bottom, and then that pumps it back up. But I was actually considering putting all 4 of these into a separate bucket on the top of this, and then putting a screen in there to separate more chips, like a very fine screen. Let it dump through the very fine screen and then go into this bucket. And I still haven't decided not to do it. I'm just unsure if I'm going to. Because these screens are doing a pretty good job, but every once in a while I have to use this thing that I actually already had for HVAC. I used it for blowing out the high and low side of air conditioning lines with nitrogen, and it turned out to be perfect to blow these lines clear when they get clogged. So this is just like a blowgun, and then that's a short whip of air hose, and that's a rubber, you know, this is actually made for that type of thing, to fit in a high or low side of an air conditioning system, and that'll blow out the R22 when you're changing it over with nitrogen to clean it out. So that's what I generally would use it for, but I've been blowing out those lines clean, and it works like a charm. It blows everything right up and then comes out full force. So it clears them right out. So it's not a bad idea. This is just a Home Depot whip and blowgun. And then this, if you can't find it at Home Depot, whatever type of HVAC supply house you have near you, a lot of times they won't let you buy anything unless you have a license, an HVAC license. But I mean, something like this, they might at the very least. You could order it on Amazon too, so you could, that's an easy way to do it. Anyways, that's about it. The jog pendant is something also, I didn't order this with it, and I don't know why, because it was 20 bucks. And when I looked into CNC wireless controllers, because I ended up carrying the keyboard over there with me, because you can use this without doing any G-code. If you have something simple that you would use a regular milling machine to do, you can vise it in there and do it manually and just move it around. I mean, it's very simple to do. I'll show you. And the 220, I ended up overdoing it. I put the 220 on a 40 amp breaker. I actually had a 50 amp that I was going to put it on. What I did is I changed over the 40 that I had, and I was going to use the new 50 I was going to use. I put the new 50 on the old 40 because all the other 220 stuff I have in here, the plasma cutter up here, the 2 welding machines. I just got one of them. I'm going to do a review on it. It's awesome. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I'm going to show you in the review of it because it's just TIG and stick and it's AC DC. I had the Vulcan Omni Pro 220, but that's only DC. And I needed something to do aluminum with, and I just got a, you know, it's actually fairly inexpensive. It's definitely not the cheapest one out there, but it's fairly inexpensive for what it is, because this does, you know, it does pulse tagging, and you can change the amount of pulses per minute. It goes up to 200, I think. It's a 225 amp. There's a lot of pros to it. Anyways, I'll save that for the other video. But I have that. The 2 welders run not at the same time, obviously, but then the plasma cutter. Now this, then I have my drill press, my lathe. Those are both 220, you know, big motors. And then this is a 3.5 horsepower spindle. And then my drill press, I put a 3 horsepower motor on it. There's a 2 horsepower motor on the lathe, which I'm probably going to put a 3 horsepower or 4 on that at some point. But right now it's doing everything I need it to do. So always it wants you to home the machine when you first start it, which all that's doing is just, so it's just bringing itself to each soft limit, or if you, you kind of have to set the soft limits anyway. So here's the screen, and let me see if I can get the screen and the machine in the same shot. So yeah, kind of. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm just using this remote right here. But if you notice and you see on the screen, I'm using this touchpad. This is your mouse. You can move your mouse from here, and it has every button on your keyboard. So not only does it control directly your CNC machine manually, right? But you can also do anything else you need to do on your computer wirelessly. It's the mouse and the keyboard right in your hand like this. It's pretty awesome for 20 bucks. You're not going to beat it anywhere else. And it just has a little dongle that goes in the back of your computer like a wireless keyboard, but it's like a handheld wireless keyboard and mouse that has set buttons that are for this machine. You know, I can move the X, Y, or the Y, then X rather, and then I can move the Z up and down. And then I can move the mouse when I want to calibrate the tool, and I can hit the calibrate button, and then I can go over here and confirm and let it set the tool. So it's pretty awesome to be able to do that wirelessly when you want to. I mean, there's times where you're going to be at the desk, or if you have the screen set up next to it. I actually did buy that, and I would put a laptop on it. I bought the stand for it because I didn't intend on getting their tablet thing, because I knew I had a better computer to use. This is an octa-core i7 processor, 32 gigs of DDR4, the two graphics hard drives, which it turns out Fusion 360 and Cut Control both run a lot better with. And you know, it worked out best this way, because this computer I actually considered selling, and I almost did sell it to a friend of mine. I hesitated because there's so much shit on the computer from using it for my business for a long time at home, and I didn't want to have to go through it all, honestly. That's the bottom line. But I'm glad that I did, because now I have a great computer to use with this. And then in Fusion, I'm starting to design what this is going to turn into. Hold on, I'll show you. This is going to be the new rail for my Pantera, my air gun, my FX Pantera. I bought, it's a little longer than I need. I don't think I'm going to go 24 inches, but it's a 2-inch by 2-inch block of solid 6061 aluminum. And I'm going to, I'm in the design phase. I have the design saved so far. I haven't gotten as far as I would like to, but I've gotten, you know, I'm still learning the software, so like I said, big learning curve, but I'm making good progress, and I'm happy with what I have so far. And then also I was recently designing, and I'm almost finished designing, where I'm just about ready to cut. I'm ready to cut a piece of scrap metal before I actually cut this. So I bought an 8-inch lathe chuck. This is the plate that came with it to mount it. So the threads are 1.5 inch. My lathe has 1 3/4 inch threads, so it's not going to work. It's just not big enough. The threads aren't big enough, so I can't use it. But I'm going to machine those threads bigger, because also with this I bought their bits, which they only send 4 bits when you buy the kit. I also bought the collet kit, which here I'll show you what comes with it. Let's see. Let me lift this up a little bit. Did I just do? No, I didn't. Okay. I thought I stopped the video for a second there. All right, let me turn the screen where I can see what I'm showing you. There's too much shit hooked up to this. Okay, so that's the collet set. It doesn't come on that wood thing. I had that from a different tool set that I bought. They come in, actually I have it right here. They come in this piece of styrofoam in a plastic box. That's what they come in. So, but the different size collets you want, because if you have a lot of, like I already had some of these tools from my milling table on the drill press, but there's high strength steel all the way in the back. This whole set, those I already had. I already had all these up front. Some of them I ordered recently, like these smaller ones. I ordered them after I got the machine. These are the 2 extra clamp downs for the vices over here. These are the smaller bits that I ordered after I got the machine and saw some of the projects I was going to need some 2 flute bull nose, and I got the 2 flute bull nose. No, that's not what's in there now. I got a 1/2 inch in there now. And then these are up to 5/8, and the collets only go to a 1/2 inch, but they go all the way down. So you have 3/8, 11, or this is 1/16. So these are, I guess I didn't put these in here in very good order. 1/16, what's this one? It's bigger, much bigger. So this is 3/32. Then it comes with a 1/8, and then it comes with a 5/32. This is a 3/16. This one is 7/32, 1/4. What is this size? I haven't even had to unwrap most of these yet. This is, what the hell? Hold on, let me take the wrapping off of this. Bad habit using your teeth, but I'm just very impatient and I have to get my knife out anyway because that's not going to do it. All right. Okay, so now this is a 9/32. Then we have this one was 1/4. I thought I had another 1/4. Oh yes, no, you know why? Because they give you a 1/4 and a 3/8 with the machine. 5/16. I'll put the, actually I'm gonna put that there, and I'll do the 2 1/4s in a row. And then this is 11/32. This is 3/8, which I have another 3/8 that came with the machine, so that'll go right there. And then this is 13/32, and then this is 7/16, and then you have the 1/2 inch, which is in it right now. And then the kit of the bits that comes with it for the milling bits, I also bought the thread tapping bits, but it's only 4 bits. So you get they're very good bits. I'll give them that. You get a 1/2 inch, what looks like, that looks actually a little bigger than a 3/8. That's probably one of the other sizes in between. This is a 3/8, and after that, so you can actually see the tools here. Let me turn the camera back this way where I can see it again. So you get those 3 sizes: 1/2 inch, a little bit smaller, and then the 3/8, and then this looks like a 1/4 probably. But you don't get any smaller bits than that. There's a lot of sizes in between missing. Like, for example, this kit here, this was from Amazon. It's high strength steel, and it's actually very high strength. I've done some heavy shit with it. It comes with a 1/2 inch, 5/16, 1/4, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 5/16, 1/4, 3/16, 5/32, 1/16, and 1/8, 1/8 and 1/16 rather. And that, I got that for, I want to say like 25 bucks on Amazon, and these are actually good bits. Honest to God, these are really good bits. I've cut hard steel with these, and it didn't have any problem. So the carbide bits are great, but the high strength steel ones actually do work too on very hard steel. So just so you guys know, if you think you need to have certain bits to be able to go through heavy steel, you can use high strength steel and it'll work. Because this thing goes up to 8,000 RPMs. I give them a ton of credit on the machine. It's an excellent design, and it's an excellent machine for the money. And this is the threading bits, the kit that you get from them for the threading bits. I did buy that as well. The guy Jake there has been tremendously helpful. I had a couple of issues, and you know, one of the issues was my fault, and I had to jackhammer this out and redo the cement, which was bad news, but at least he was straight with me. He was honest with me and told me right away, so I didn't waste any time. And he was like, you could leave it, but you're gonna lose, you know, a couple inches of cutting space, and I didn't want to do that, so I jackhammered it out and did it again. It sucked, but it was bad news, but at least he was honest with me, and that goes a long way as far as I'm concerned. Honesty means more to me than bullshit any day of the week, even if it's what you want to hear. So if it's not what you want to hear, at least they're honest, and I appreciate that. So so that's that. The bits are actually, between the flood coolant and the speed of the spindle and power of the spindle, it's not burning them up all that bad. I think these bits are actually going to last a good amount of time per bit. I don't think I'm going to need to be buying bits for this thing anytime too soon with the amount that I have right now. You know, it's not a crazy amount, but it's not a crazy little amount either. But I think that's going to last me a very significant amount of time. I'm not going to show you the Pantera design yet, because I'm not sure when I'm done with that if I'm going to actually like produce it. If I may sell it if it catches on, because people have asked me about my rail, that I customized the rail that came with it. And you know, when I mean, I see that Sabre Tactical finally came out with one, but the one I'm designing is going to be a lot better than that, because theirs is kind of like the original one, but you have the option to take out a section for a small bottle. I want to make it a little bit longer, so you have the option to take it out for a 700cc bottle if you'd like, or a 580, or a 480, or whatever size you want. And it's still going to be very, very rigid, no matter what size you take out, because I'm going to make cross braces in it. That's all I'm going to say, not how I'm going to make them. But I'll see if I can pull up the design for, let's see. Where's my, oh, see, you can even 3D print on this. You can do just about anything. Data panel, where's document settings. Where's my last project? No, we don't want a new project. I want to open. Okay. Router chuck plate. No, that was one of the ones that was not right. See, that's extremely frustrating. I actually bought this thing just to make it start re-recording. It doesn't get rid of the 30-minute thing, and I found out that that's a tax thing. To import these cameras and not have them labeled as video cameras, they have to put a 30-minute limit. That's why there's a 30-minute cutoff. I can't take it off, but what I could do is get I forget what it's called, something thermometer. It's this is a, what the hell is it called? Intervalometer. That's what it's called, intervalometer, for the interval of the video. So or whatever type of other photos you're taking, or that kind of stuff. But anyways, here's the actual design for the chuck plate. There's the threads. You can see the threads in here, and there's the top surface, the side, the bottom. You can see the whole thing, and to get here, it looks like it would be simple, but it's just not. So and then you can go to simulate, and it'll show me the whole tool path. And this is going to be, I believe this is for, oh, that's going very quick. So this is the threading, and you can change the speed. This is the, oh no, this is the boring. This is boring it out. It's doing multiple passes because it doesn't realize that, here, let me let you see it a little better. It doesn't realize that it's already got a hole in there, which I don't know how to tell it that, but it does. So this is the threading part, actually. This is the second process. So you can change the speeds on this. Let me get you guys to be able to see that a little better. And then I'll show you the two processes. The only thing with the free version also, you cannot export the two files at the same time of the threading as well as the boring. So you have to, so here's the boring process right here, and here's the threading. So what I have to do is I have to right click on here, and then I have to is it right click, or maybe when it's closed I have to, oh, I think it's because I'm in the simulation I can't do it, but let me exit the simulation. So the thread, I would come to here, and then I would hide it, suppress. I'm going to suppress that, yes. Okay, so I'm going to suppress the threading and both, there's two threading because I didn't know which threading I wanted to do. So I'm going to suppress that as well. Yes. So now the only one that's not suppressed, you see the little eye has a cross through it.